Welcome to episode 16 of Discover Ocala, presented by Showcase Properties of Central Florida. I'm Valerie Dailey, your host for this podcast. In episode 16, we visit with Natalie McComb, Executive Director of the Reilly Arts Center and Ocala Symphony Orchestra. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to have you here, and we're going to be talking about the Reilly Center. It's a cultural gem in our community, and I want more people to learn about it. So tell us a little bit about the history of it, and then we'll get on to where you think it's going to grow.
We are so lucky to have the Reilly Arts Center in Ocala, truly. So a little bit of the history is it used to be the old Ocala Civic Auditorium. People used to have sock hops, and there used to be visiting, bands and musicians that would come in and play. And then for many years, unfortunately, it's at dormant. At the end of Tuscaloosa Park, as we all know, Tuscaloosa Park needed a little bit of love. And so when the city started doing some work in there, this really became an opportunity for the Ocala Symphony Orchestra. So as an organization, the Ocala Symphony Orchestra really came first. So we've been in the community now, we're entering our 49th season, but we never had a home. So the symphony would play at various locations, including at OBS, at the College of Central Florida, in various auditoriums.
I remember OBS, yes.
Yeah. So you could hear horses neighing in the background and smell the hay, right? Which sometimes would come at a convenient time when you're performing, say, Beethoven. Other times, maybe not. But the symphony really didn't have a place. And so the Ocala Civic Auditorium was getting ready to meet the wrecking ball when the symphony said, hey, can we partner with you? What can we do with this building? And can we fundraise to really renovate it, bring it to life, and have it be a home for the orchestra? And thankfully, the city was very supportive, very excited. Matt and Pamela Wardell had a vision for what that would become. And so almost 9 years ago was when the Reilly Arts Center was opened.
Has it been that long?
Yep. So in October, it'll be our 9th anniversary. Next year will be the 10th anniversary of the Reilly Arts Center and the 50th season of the Ocala Symphony Orchestra. So for us, fall of 2025 is going to be huge.
Yes, a big
year. A lot
year
to celebrate. Yep. So it's been great. I mean, since the Reilly Arts Center was renovated, not only is it a great place acoustically to listen to the symphony, the Reilly produces many acts. We've got rock bands, we have plays, we have ballet, all sorts of different performances you can experience in that space. And then around 2020, they started talking about expansion. And so just a few years ago, we were able to open up a big expansion for the building, which allowed us to add a large north lobby. And thanks to Frank DeLuca, we were able to do that. And then also our NOMA Black Box Theater, which now hosts events like dueling pianos and jazz nights. It's a great flex space, so we have a lot of groups that come in and will rent the space for private parties, corporate events, and we have a music school now as well.
Okay, so NOMA, does that stand for anything, or
Yes.
what's the name for that?
So that was named for a donor. So if you all remember the NOMA Records and the NOMA Art Exchange there, is an art gallery.
Yes.
So very generous donation from David Midget and Lisa Irwin to name that space for us. And we've had a great partnership with them. And again, they really allowed us to have the Black Box be a space. And I'll tell you, I think, again, forward thinking, it's nice to have a smaller performance space like that for those more intimate events. So that's been wonderful. And they've been a big part of the expansion as well.
So as I understand it, the main stage has a downstairs and an upstairs, right? And it seats about 700 or
Correct.
so?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so then what does the NOMA box?
People say, well, what is a black box? Well, it's kind of a big black box. It's a big black room, right? But we can flex that space. So when we set it up with little cafe tables and rounds, we typically fit about 125 to 150, or we can set it up auditorium style. We can even bring in risers. So we've done theater in the round in partnership with Ocala Civic Theater and had some plays in that space too. So it's really been a nice space for us to kind of make it what we want it to be, but definitely a smaller capacity than our main stage.
And then you also have the Jenkins outdoor?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
right?
So there's a
Okay.
great stage that the city helped build out there that allows us to have outdoor concerts in the park. And so some of the events that we have annually are we always have our Symphony Under the Lights, which is around early to mid-December. That's a free event for the community where our symphony performs holiday favorites alongside the Ocala Youth Symphony. Which
Okay.
is wonderful. And then we also partner with Jenkins, who the outdoor stage is named after, on a nice Party in the Park event in November. And that's kind of a mixture of a car show as well as an outdoor concert. Lots of vendors come and food trucks and all of that. And it's just like a fun way to ring in the fall and experience some great music. A little bit more on the rock side for that particular
Okay.
event. But it is, we love being in Tuscaloosa Park. We love how vibrant it is. We love all the art that's being added throughout the park. And the city has big plans for that area. Again, just looking to really bridge that gap between Tuscaloosa and downtown. So much development happening, and we're really in the thick of it.
Right. And so people can rent out the space, and there's been several different events there for that. I think we've done some fundraising events there for. Did Give for Marion do anything there?
Yeah, so this will be our third year, I believe, hosting the kind of finale of Give for Marion,
Okay.
the big party at the end that you get to see the ticker go up and see how much has been raised in the community for participating nonprofits. So we'll have that again,
Okay.
September 18th.
Right.
And then we also participate in that as well, specifically to support our music school, the Community Music Conservatory.
So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Who gets to go to the school?
Yeah, so all ages, really. I mean, we have babies that come for our Mommy and Me class, where we're really just introducing babies and their parents, toddlers, to sound and to rhythm and to, really getting them to experience just banging on things and making noise because it's fun, right?
Interesting.
So we have some group classes like that. Then we also have some higher level one-on-one instruction. A lot of members of the orchestra also teach for us. So these are professional musicians. Many of them have degrees in music or in education. We also work with a number of teachers in the community to teach cello, violin, trumpet, piano, vocal lessons. What's that?
A piano?
Yes, we do lots of piano.
So I used to play the piano, and I've always thought maybe I should get back and try it again.
Yeah, it's one of those things you're never too old or too young to start or pick something up like that. And that our oldest student is 89. And he loves coming. He loves coming. We also work with a lot of students with special needs. Some are on the spectrum, some of whom are nonverbal. And this is the way for them to express themselves and to also work on their hand-eye coordination, things like that. So the music school is certainly, we have higher level instruction, but it's also a big community focus for us. We offer scholarships. And that's one of the things that we fundraise for as well, because we want to make sure that no one gets turned away from being able to experience the love for music just because they may be on more of a fixed income or something like that they wouldn't ordinarily be able to afford private instruction.
So how do you promote that? How would someone know that they could participate?
All of our entities, I like to say, so the Reilly, the orchestra, our Community Music Conservatory, and then we also operate the Marion Theater downtown. We're all on social media, so certainly for those who are on social media, they can follow us on Facebook. We have great partnerships with our public schools and the band directors. So a lot of the band directors, we'll send them updates when we've added a new class or a new instrument that we teach. So they're really great about getting the word out for us as well. But, for us, it's grown so quickly in the last 2 years. There's definitely a need for it in this community. And so, we got pretty full without doing a whole lot of advertising because there just wasn't that accessible unless you, went up to Gainesville or something like that. We didn't have, where else can you learn from, a professional musician for violin or cello or something like that. We've been very lucky that we quickly grew our number of students.
That's awesome. That is really good. Well, I have been to several events at the Reilly. Of course, the CEP has their breakfast there, which was a big change from where they came from. And I think it works out very well. There, it's always packed.
Yeah,
Right.
we really like to have a variety of things like that. I mean, we've also started hosting graduations, for example.
Have
So
you
there's
really?
not a whole
Okay.
lot of facilities that you can rent that's kind of that right size and has that nice, the bright lights and they get to walk across the stage. So we've been hosting some school graduations, but even speaker series, things like that, all things that we're looking into because It's a wonderful facility. We want people to use it. But, we have to meet people where they're at. And, some people have different tastes in music, or their organization may have a particular need. So even partnering with organizations when they want to treat clients, or, they want to have a team outing, doing some group sales and things like that is something we're looking to grow too. And that's what our balcony is great for. I mean, we've had a group rent out the whole balcony for a show before so that they could treat their guests to a fun night out.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Who helps plan the events for the year?
So we have a great team. Certainly sometimes there's some ideas I'll throw my team's way, but we have a great senior director of programming and operations, my colleague Adam Volpe. He has the expertise in booking bands, which is not an easy thing. When you look at riders, you look at contracts, you look at all the scheduling that goes into it. So he's kind of our master booker and scheduler for all of the things. But then we have other great team members like Leighton and Amanda who really help with our rentals and really making sure everything goes really well. They help with our hospitality. So when a band comes and they only want a bowl of green M&Ms or a particular drink that they like, or, anything like that, bands can get very specific of what they want in the dressing room. Yep. Okay. So we make sure we do all of those things to make people feel welcome and make them want to come back. But we mostly do it in-house with our team, like I said. And we've got some great folks that are energetic. A lot of us have communications backgrounds. A lot of us just love the arts. So, working for an organization like this allows us to be creative, but then also to, kind of sometimes think outside the box and help someone who may have an idea of the type of event they want, but not quite the vision to kind of get there and understanding the logistics. So we've got a great team. We have 9 full-time employees and then about 30 part-time hourly employees because of the nature of what we do. So we have great bartenders and production team members and folks that work our box office, all of that are more event specific when we have things going on.
It sounds like you're very busy.
We like to be.
Yes.
It's a busy art center is a good art center. I mean, seriously.
Absolutely.
We want there to be something going on every weekend, preferably every Friday and Saturday night. We try and make sure our calendar is very full.
Well, what can we do to help support you?
Yeah. I mean, I think for us, I'm always amazed when people still don't understand or know about the Reilly Arts Center, where they've been living in this community. Maybe they're new. They've been here for a couple years, but it takes them a couple years to find us. So the biggest thing is spreading the word about the Reilly, having people go on our website to see what kind of shows are coming up. There may be something that, someone would be interested in. So spreading the word, sharing when you've been to a show that you've liked is really helpful. Letting folks know that we have a symphony. Our symphony is phenomenal. It is a professional symphony with professionally paid musicians. So sometimes when folks move from a major city to Ocala, they don't think or expect us to have that, or they expect it to be kind of just a community band. We're much more than that. So that's the other thing I always say. Oh, you have someone, they moved from Chicago? Don't write off the Ocala Symphony Orchestra. We're really good. Come and experience it. So I think that's another thing. And for those that may not be symphony goers or maybe haven't experienced it, come and try it out. That's the other thing, is I think even for me, I never considered myself a lover of opera, for example. Right. I attended an opera and I was blown away. And now we're having one. We're doing Puccini in partnership with the UF Opera Theater in the spring. But that's another thing. Again, if you've never experienced the opera, you don't have to go far. I think that's the biggest thing is really spreading the word. And then, of course, for us, we are a nonprofit. So we're supported through ticket sales, through private donations, through corporate sponsorships and grants. So we'd love to partner with any business that may want to enhance their brand, but also really experience a fun night out. That's the benefit, right, of sponsoring the Reilly, is you get a fun night out too. So we're always open to conversations like that because truly to keep our ticket sales affordable for those living in Ocala, to keep our ticket sales affordable for our seniors, we need outside fundraising because ticket sales are really only a small portion of the revenue that we bring in.
What haven't I asked you that you wanted to share?
Well, I think the other thing we didn't touch on too much is we do operate the Marion Theater downtown.
Right.
So
we've actually rented that out.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Yes.
So that's another one people are kind of surprised, really. But the city asked us if we were interested in that partnership, and we talked to them This was around when COVID was happening, and they were looking for someone to operate it. The city is wonderful stewards of that building. They take care of the building, but they allowed us to come in and start programming it. So it was built in 1941. So if you're looking for kind of that nostalgic place to catch a movie, we do second run movies. We do a series called Classics and Cocktails, where you can see both old classics like Singing in the Rain or White Christmas, but also like more 80s cult classics as well, and 90s. So we've always got some great movies playing. And then we rent that out for special events as well. And that's kind of become, I'm trying to peg it as Ocala's home for stand-up comedy. So we do now, once a month, we do a stand-up comedy night called Sit Down for Stand-Up. A lot of fun. Okay. And then we've also been booking some great comics, featured comics to come in. So if you're looking for a fun night out on that side of things, take the Marion Theater into consideration. And all of that, you can purchase tickets at ReillyArtsCenter.com. Even for the Marion. So you can check out what's
You've
happening.
got a great website. It's super easy to navigate, and it's very, very well done.
We try and make it easy because unfortunately we still have folks that will fall prey to third-party ticket scams. So that's also something that we're always trying to educate folks. Make sure you're going to ReillyArtsCenter.com because unfortunately there's all sorts of different sites that you may spend twice as much and lots of fees if you're buying them through a third party. So we're always very affordable. So if you think you're spending too much, most likely you are. And make sure that you're on ReillyArtsCenter.com to get your tickets.
Good.
Yeah.
What are some of the events that are coming up for the remainder of the year?
Yeah. So our symphony season, our 40-night season, kicks off in October.
Okay.
So that's always a very nice opening night, very formal. A lot of the ladies like to get really dressed up. So that's coming up in October. And we have 6 symphony performances throughout the year, October through April, and then we'll have some special performances, including in that we'll have a great community sing-along to Handel's Messiah in November. We're also going to have some great rock bands come in, so Billy Bob Thornton and the Boxmasters will be bringing back. And then we also just announced Big Bad Voodoo Daddy for folks that may like a little bit more modern music, right? Okay. And then, of course, as we look to the holidays, we do our annual Pops Goes the Holidays, which always sells out. And that's where we're performing songs from Home Alone, Mannheim Steamroller, Nutcracker, all of the classic favorites. And again, we'll be bringing the Nutcracker back for 4 shows in partnership with Dance Alive National Ballet. So lots going on.
Lots going on.
And then, of course, we've got some great events in the NOMA Black Box, too. We're kicking off a Blues in the Box series and bringing back our very popular Reilly Noir Jazz Nights. So something for everybody.
Good. Well, it's exciting to know that we have this in our community, and everybody should go and see it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Valerie. We appreciate the opportunity to kind of get the word out and hopefully see some new guests visiting us.
We will certainly try.
Thank you.
Thanks to Natalie McComb for joining us today. And we look forward to being with you once again next month, right here on Discover Ocala, presented by Showcase Properties of Central Florida.
Discover Ocala is presented by Showcase Properties of Central Florida. As an independent brokerage firm for over 2 decades, Showcase Properties has helped customers throughout Central Florida achieve their real estate goals. Showcase Realtors offer expertise in a variety of property types and price points, and their services go beyond just buying and selling. Visit ShowcaseOcala.com to connect with a dedicated local realtor and start your unique real estate journey today. We also want to thank you, the listener, for taking time to discover Ocala with us. We hope you enjoyed this month's episode, and if you did, please consider leaving us a review or rating wherever you're listening, or even telling a friend about us. If you have any questions on other organizations, individuals, or events you'd like to see covered in future episodes, you can get in touch with us directly at Discover Ocala at ShowcaseOcala.com. See you next month.